What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine, back with another video. Here before you, I've got the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Let's dive right into this thing. Now, this is the Pristine review for this device. I've been using it since I received it a few weeks back as my daily driver. I know that I intended to do an unboxing video, and I figured I would just spare you guys that. Just because, I mean, as you could see, you know, the box, there's no charging brick or anything. I mean, so you get the device, SIM ejector tool, you know, typical books and things, you know, quick start guide, you know, all that type of stuff. And, you know, your type C to type C charging cable, which I never use or take outside of the box because I've got, you know, plenty of fast chargers and all that type of thing. And so, you know, I just use those to, you know, charge up all of my devices. But the reason why I mentioned charging brick not being in the box because of the price point of these devices, and the prices keep going up, but yep, they just keep taking things away from, you know, taking things out of the box that should be present, right? Everybody doesn't have all the things that I've got in order to charge up my phones in a very swift way, right? So yeah, let's just dive right into the full Pristine review. Like I said, I've had this phone. It was delivered a couple days after launch by Samsung. Yeah, I feel like I've been using it, you know, hard enough to where I've got a pretty good idea of the device, how it you know, how it operates, the features, functions, and then, you know, my overall thoughts with my experience with it, and, you know, who this device is for. So I'll try not to take too much of your time here, and I'll get out of your way. Now, first things first, the price, you know, to me, the price is absolutely insane. You know, I understand, you know, you got to pay to play, you know, and as my man, you know, Flossie Carter would say, you know, he's like, you know, there's a food chain. And if you got this device, then you are definitely at the top of the food chain if you care about such things. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just want a device that does what they need to do, you know, give them the ability to, you know, web browse in a seamless manner, take good photos and videos, you know, multitask a little bit, you know, run all their social media stuff, you know, flawlessly. And that is pretty much it. And you can get that in a lot of, you know, budget devices, mid-range devices. You don't have to go and spend this kind of money on a device to get it to do all those things. Now, if you are like just a power monger, right? If you want a phone that just has all the things, if you're about status and you're just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want that shiny new Samsung, you know, spending you know, $2,200 ain't nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, go ahead and do what you do. I mean, who am I to tell you how to spend your hard-earned money, you know? But I'm just saying, you know, I think it's very interesting that these prices for not just the Fold, but the Flip went up $100. Okay, so this is the 512 gig variant. Right now, I pre-ordered this device, and Samsung, you know, they're really good with pre-orders. They always have all kinds of promotional deals and stuff like that going on whenever you pre-order a device. So for the price of the 256 gig variant, I got the 512 gig variant. Now, the actual prices for each variant is as follows. We've got the 256 gig variant, which is $1,999.99 before tax. Okay, now, mind you, in the state of Washington, I'm in Seattle, taxes are now like 10.5%. So you do the math. All right, the 512 gig variant, which is what this is, $2,119.99. Okay, and then there is a 1 terabyte variant, which is $2,419.99. Right. So yeah, when you're spending that kind of money, I mean, there should be a charging brick, there should be a case, screen protector, man, everything, you know, should be in this box. And the fact that it's just a device, and I understand this is a very, very impressive piece of tech, you know, I get it, but still, come on. You know, when you got phones that cost hundreds less. Hundreds less. And they come with all the things, right? There's not very many OEMs that still do this, but there are some out there that do this. And they make it as seamless as possible. So, you know, when you crack open the box, man, you got your device, you got a case, you got a screen protector, you got your SIM ejector tool, all the paperwork and all that type of stuff. You may have a couple troll stickers or something like that to stick on, you know what I'm saying? You know, the rival operating systems phone, you know, just to troll your friends and family and all that type of thing, right? But they make sure that you're equipped and you spent hundreds less. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the main gripes that I have about, you know, spending this type of money on a device and just knowing that all you're getting is the device. Like, it just seems like if you're spending this kind of money, all those things should be inclusive. That's just my opinion. All right. Now, what does that money get you? Okay. Now, that's going to get you on this particular device. This is the cover display here, right? And you can see that aspect ratio. The phone is very thin when it's closed. This is a 6.5 inch 2520 by 1080p Full HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2x display, okay, featuring 120 hertz adaptive refresh rate, okay. We've got a 422 ppi pixel density. We've got 2600 nits peak brightness, and that is pretty much going to sum it up for the exterior display. Now, when you open this phone up, and that's another one of the things that I don't really care too much for with this device. Like, you could see how super thin the device is, and you could see, I mean, when it's closed, everything is like flush, right? Now, you would think it would have been nice for the top display while the phone is closed to maybe overlap the bottom portion just slightly, to make it easier to open, because now with everything being just flush the way that it is, and I understand it's a very clean look, but it makes it difficult to open the phone. And I mean, you get this thing, you know, it's kind of slippery, right? I've seen people drop this thing in an attempt to open it. I've seen people have to stick a fingernail in between the crease in order to open it. And that's not ideal, because depending on how long your fingernails are, you might scratch that inner display. And that's the last thing that you want to do, right? That's the last thing you want to do. So, you know, minor gripe, you know what I mean? But I mean, I just feel like, you know, if you're... when you take this device out of the box and you're peeling off the plastic, there's a specific set of instructions. And when you are in the settings, as you're setting up the device before it takes you to the home display, it gives you a set of instructions on how to carefully care for your device. Okay. And so I think it's interesting that Samsung, you know, they put all these precautionary measures, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to be able to, you know, make sure that your phone is in optimal condition all the time. But they didn't think of something as small as, okay, well, how can we make it convenient for the customers who invest in this device to easily open up the device without struggle? So the fact that there isn't like an overlapping lip, you know what I mean, just to kind of, you know, just flip it open with ease. And kind of, you know, here's my Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and same thing with this, right? I mean, you see the edges, I mean, everything is flush and together. It would, like I said, it would have been nice just to have the lip just overlap the bottom portion slightly, just so you can get your finger underneath there and just open it easily. You know what I mean? But not to go on a rant, but yeah. So with the phone open, we've got an 8-inch 2184 by 1968 QXGA Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2x display. We've got 2600 nits peak brightness, 120 hertz adaptive refresh rate, advanced armor frame, Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the rear, And then Corning Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2. I'm not exactly sure where that is. Maybe that's on the hinge, the ceramic. But nonetheless, I mean, this is how this device is constructed. We've got an IP rating of 48 water resistance, which is nice. And yeah, that's the overall construction of the device. Now, the internal specifications, we've got the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy chipset, 12 gigs of RAM, octa-core CPU, GPU is 830. We're running Android 16 fresh out of the box with One UI 8 on top. And Samsung is claiming that we're going to get up to 7 major Android updates and security patches. So if you do decide to invest in this device and you're not the type to upgrade every year when the new shiny Samsung Fold comes out, then rest assured that for the next 7 updates and security patches, you're going to get those. Now, will your device stand the test of time? If, you just decide to hang onto your phone for that long until the wheels fall off, I mean, that's obviously yet to be determined. But for those of you that, like to upgrade every 4 or 5 years, you're good, right? You're going to get all the latest updates, software updates. You'll be able to take advantage of the new features, functions, and what have you. We've gotten out of those days of old where, if you wanted to experience a new feature, you had to wait until the new device comes out. Yeah, as different devices come out, there may be a little hardware tweak here and there, but most of the stuff, especially in this AI world in which we live in, most of the updates and things are going to be through software updates. And, if the OEM wants to add something new, they just push it through as an update. And then, boom, just like that, your phone now has that capability. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. So those are the specifications of the device, the internals, the guts and things. Now, let's see. Prop this thing up here so we can see it. There we go. Now, performance. In my experience, I mean, the performance has been beast mode status, straight up, right? The phone does everything that I want and needed to do in a hurry. And it, yeah. It just goes in the stuff very seamlessly. Now, again, my device is connected to my home Wi-Fi, which I have a very, very powerful Wi-Fi setup. And I understand that, 5G or all these different G networks is to try to get as close to, a home network as possible, or any kind of powerful network that you can connect to. And so, your speeds may differ, between, your home connection, if you do have powerful internet at home, versus how it may perform out and about, based on, the network in which you're connected to. But in my experience, I'm running this phone with Google Fi. I mean, this phone is fully unlocked. Google Fi is just, it's one of my favorite networks. It runs on T-Mobile's network, but it's not an actual, brick and mortar carrier like that. You know what I mean? And so, I think the rates are fantastic. The service is fantastic. And running this with my Google Fi SIM card in this phone, I mean, it's just been a breeze. It's caused no issues at all whatsoever. It does everything that I want and needed to do in an absolute hurry. Go to YouTube Music. We'll pop into Spotify here. And these are just some really, I've got a lot of content on, on these apps in which I'm clicking into, and you see how it just breezes into them just like that. Epidemic Sound, just pops right into that. Let's see. Let's go bestbuy.com, where you could also get this device as well. Today being September 1st, it is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to all you folks, ladies, gents, anyone that has tuned into this video. Labor Day sale right there. So I don't know if maybe there's something in which you want to take advantage of. A lot of nice deals and things going on. Amazon as well. They've got a lot of, Labor Day things going on for you to take advantage of. But you could just see how the device is just, breezing into these apps. Like I said, 12 gigs of RAM here. Everything that's open. Go back into YouTube, Amazon. Let me see. Pop back into Spotify. Recommend Spotify if you're enjoying Spotify. Rate us. No thanks. I'll do that later. Let me see. YouTube Music just pops right back into that. You see that everything is held really well in the RAM. Man, Leela James got a new EP. Okay, yeah. Add that to the library. I'm gonna have to listen to that a little later on. I love Leela James. Yeah. So you guys, you get the gist, right? Like the phone is. Let me see. Let me see here. Take me to Samsung.com. All right. Click on Samsung.com. Okay, few seconds. All right. Galaxy Tab S10 FE. All right. New tablet coming out. But yeah. So just to kind of give you just a quick idea of how the phone functions. I mean, everything is solid, nice and smooth, right? Now, the cameras, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 cameras on this device, okay? We have this camera here. We have this camera here while the device is closed. And then we have 3 cameras on the rear. And Samsung is claiming that these are pro level cameras, okay? And I would have to agree, right? These cameras are super solid. And yeah, definitely, if you got this device, I mean, like I said, I keep putting emphasis on, there's no way that you should be able to spend this type of money and not everything be top notch about the phone, right? Even the watch, right? This is my Watch 8 Classic. I think that, this should be the Ultra because of the rotating display. I like everything about this watch except the battery life. Okay. And I say that because when you've had watches like, Amazfit, the Amazfit Balance, I have the Amazfit Balance 2 behind me, that I haven't cracked open yet. But when you're using smartwatches that just have a plethora more things going on with it as far as like, workout, trainers, all that type of stuff. And it does all the things that this watch does, the Apple Watches do, as far as being able to talk on them, receive notifications, respond, to emails or text, what have you, turn by turn, navigation, all that type of stuff. And on those devices, the battery life on those watches lasts between like 7 to 10 days on a single charge. And then you get something like this, which is nice, by the way, right? It's the Watch 8 Classic, goes nice, with your nice shiny new Fold 7. Battery life is at 98% right now because I charged it this morning. But I mean, guaranteed by the end of this day, this battery it's gonna need to go back on the charger. I think it's insane how much the battery dies. You know what I'm saying? Especially compared to some of those other devices, where, like I said, you got, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days on a single charge. I mean, that's insane. But not to get too much off topic. All right, cameras here. Okay, we've got a 200 megapixel wide lens with 3-time optical zoom. We have a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor with 2-time optical quality zoom. We have a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with digital zoom up to 30 times. We have a 10 megapixel cover lens, which is this one. And we have a 10 megapixel HID main lens. Okay, now these cameras feature all the things, right? I'm not going to go into, all the stuff that it goes into. If you want to read down the laundry list of capabilities of this camera, then go to Samsung.com, find this device, click on tech specs, and scroll down to the camera, and you can just see the long, ridiculous list of all the capabilities of this camera. I highly doubt that people are going to actually use all that type of stuff, except for people that are real photocentric, and photography savvy, videography savvy, but it does it all, right? We've got 4K recording at 60 FPS. We've got 8K recording at 30 FPS, 1080p recording at 60, 120, and 240 FPS, 720p recording at 960 FPS. Now, the selfie lenses, the 10 megapixel cameras, we do have 4K recording at 30 or 60 FPS on those lenses, 1080p recording at 30 or 60 FPS as well, and those are also featuring gyro electronic image stabilization. Okay. So yeah, my understanding is that the three cameras on the rear of this device are the same cameras that are on the S25 Ultra, if I'm not mistaken. And so, I think that one of the hits, the major indictments against the Fold, even though it's like Samsung's most expensive device, is it didn't really seem to add up to the camera performance of the S Series Ultra device, right? Which makes no sense to me because, this phone is almost double the price of that. So it's like, why wouldn't you just go completely balls out, balls to the wall, figuratively speaking, on the most expensive product, right? There's no other Samsung device that should do anything better than this device based on what this device cost, in my personal opinion. There's no other Samsung phone's camera that should outshine this camera because of how much it cost. So, if, the S25 Ultra is Samsung's best camera work, then yeah, naturally those same lenses should be on this device. But I think that this device should even one up and be tweaked to outperform, those lenses on the S25 Ultra, just because of the fact that you're paying a much higher premium here, Now, with these cameras, as far as the average consumer is concerned, you're not going to have any problems at all whatsoever. I know that over the years, a lot of people talked about shutter lag and just not being able to capture, the photos that they wanted to capture at the time that they wanted to capture them because of shutter lag and all that type of stuff. I've heard different people talk about it. Some people have just been like, oh, it's still a thing. I wanted to capture this photo, and because of shutter lag, I wasn't able to capture that specific moment. I didn't want the second or two after that moment. I wanted to capture that specific moment. That, ladies and gentlemen, has not been my experience at all whatsoever. Okay, this camera, you launch it, and man, you'll see the photo takes right as I press the button. Instantly, right as selfies. You can see I'm behind the camera here. Oh man, I keep forgetting that timer's on. All right, let me turn this timer off. I always forget about that. And I remember the phone, it has the, when you have a certain setting that you like, it's going to keep that same setting until you change it. You know what I'm saying? And I really like that. Now, let's just another demonstration real quick. Boom. Okay, choose color tone for your selfies. Keep it natural. I don't want warm because I don't want that yellowish tint. Give it to me naturally. So yeah, I mean, you can see, and then we already have the watermark right there, Galaxy Z Fold 7. Man, that quality is just, that's insane. But yeah, whoo, this was me on Friday. My Florida State Seminole surgical cap representing for my team. I told everybody that FSU was going to run through Alabama, and nobody believed it. Nobody believed it. Everybody thought I was insane. And what happened? Florida State BTA'd Alabama. Belt to ass. Woo! Oh, man. Just put it all over them boys. Out physical them, beat them up in the trenches, concussed their star receiver. I mean, it was just an utter obliteration in Tallahassee. And I loved every minute of it. You know what I'm saying? Florida State is back, baby. Noel Nation, stand up. All right. Oh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it, man. Come on. Yeah. So, cameras. The camera performance on this device is stellar, you know, to say the least. And rightfully so. It should be, you know, like I keep alluding to, with the amount of money that you're paying for this phone, everything better be stellar, doggone it. You know what I'm saying? Daggone it, you know, get my Bobby Bowden on, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, now, battery life. I've got 93% right now. Okay. I charged this phone up earlier today. It's 11:59 Pacific time. It's about to be 12 noon. Put this phone on the charger while I was doing my workout this morning. And topped it up to 100%. This is the most I've used it this morning since taking it off the charger. So at the start of this video, that battery was at 100%. And it's now at 92%. And all I've done was open the phone, close it a little bit, scroll through a couple apps, open up a few apps just to see, you know, show you guys, you know, how the device performs. And so I'll say this, I'm able to get through a day. I typically, I don't charge my phone the same night because I get up, you know, early enough in the morning, and, you know, with the fast charging capabilities, you know, those do work. I've got fast chargers in multiple places in my home, especially the places where I'm navigating to early in the mornings as I'm trying to get ready for work and stuff like that. And so, you know, while I'm doing my workout, while I'm showering in the morning, getting ready to head to work or whatever I'm doing, you know, I can put the phone on the charger and it'll be at like 15%. And I'll say in about 30, 35 minutes, it's at 100%. So the phone charges really fast, which is a plus. But, you know, prior to getting my hands on this device, you know, my daily driver was the iPhone 16e, which I'm looking forward to doing a review on that as well, because that phone was majorly slept on. It was scandalized, maligned, and man, a lot of people just felt as though it was a complete abomination. And I think that the iPhone 16e is a wonderful device. And you're talking about killer battery life. Oh my goodness. You're talking about, you know, 2.5 day battery life, which has been what my experience has been on the iPhone 16e. You know how many iPhone 16es I can buy for the price that I pay for this? I can buy like 4 or 5 16es. You know what I'm saying? And the 16e just destroys this phone in battery life. It just absolutely obliterates this phone in battery life. It just completely just rips, just shreds it apart. Just like Florida State just did Alabama. It just completely just obliterates, you know, scandalizes, maligns, you know, man, it just desecrates this battery on this device. I mean, it just does, but I'm just trying to paint the picture for you, ladies and gentlemen. So just know, I'm not saying that, the the battery life is terrible on this device. Like I said, I guess the main thing is, can it get you through a full day? Yes, it gets me through a full day with the way in which I use this device. Now, I'm a very light to moderate user. I'm not a power user. So, a day in the life of phone usage for me is wake up in the morning, put it on the charger, go to work. I take my breakfast break. I watch some YouTube content for my 15-minute break. Okay. I may scroll through my email and text messages or messages. It goes back in my pocket into my lunch break. Throughout my lunch break for 30 minutes, I'm watching more YouTube content, soaking in, just phone review stuff, highlights of my favorite team, UFC knockouts, boxing knockouts, right? Just all, just stuff that I'm entertained by, car stuff, right? Because I'm a car freak. That type of thing. Then it goes back in my pocket until my last 15-minute break before my shift ends. And then I watch a little more content. And then I get off. And, I may, if I'm looking for something or if I'm shopping, I may go to the websites to, make a purchase or two, or just kind of window shop a little bit, throw a couple things in my cart, that I want to cop. Right. I may check my email again, or, just messages that I'm getting throughout the day. And that's it. Right. I'm not watching movies. I'm not, downloading a bunch of stuff. I may listen to some music from time to time, here and there, because I always stay with my buds in my ear, stuff like that. But that's really the extent of it. So it's like using the device for those things, then yes, I'm able to get through a full day. And I'm, like I said, I'm between, 20 and 30% left over at the end of the day. After a certain time, at night, I put my phone down, and, it still has enough battery life to, function the alarms that wake me up in the morning. And then, like I said, right when I get up in the morning, boom, it goes right back on the charger. You see? So, I mean, with that type of usage, it gets me through a day, but that's just me. I don't know how you watching this video use your phone. So if you do a lot more than I do with your phone, then yeah, you're going to want to keep, a juice pack of some sort, a Type-C charger, a charging brick of some sort. You're going to want to keep it with you. Because this battery will fail you. and that's just the truth. Now, luckily for me, I carry two phones all the time. I got my Android of choice in one pocket and my iPhone in my other pocket. And like I said, I don't really worry about battery life on my 16E. That's the iPhone of choice that I choose to rock. Until this iPhone 17 comes out, and then, we'll see, what that's looking like. But as of right now, as far as iOS, my iPhone 16E is in one pocket. My Android of choice is in my other pocket. If my Android dies, I'm not tripping, because I still got action, because I got that E in my other pocket. And I know for a fact battery life is crazy, and it's not going to fail me. Hasn't yet, and I don't believe it will. On this device, I've already had to put power saving mode on a couple times. I don't like that, because it limits what I can do with my phone. Right? I want to be able to just take my phone out and use it how I want to use it. You see? So that's been my experience, with the battery life on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. How it is for you, that's just solely dependent on how you use your device. Okay. Now, the things that I like the most about this device is obviously the build, the bigger display, right? When you open up the device, you've got that bigger canvas, to look at content. The dual stereo speakers tuned by AKG, they sound great. I mean, the form factor of this device, just look at how thin it is, right? I never thought that we'd see a foldable device that could top, the Surface Duo, right? And I'm still salty about the fact that Microsoft decided not to continue to support the Surface Duo. This is my Pixel 9 Pro Fold here. Now, And I know that the 10 Pro Fold is coming out, what, September 13th? I think it's interesting that the Fold, it doesn't come out the same time as the Pixel 10 lineup does. I've got my Pixel 10 Pro right here. Unboxing is coming for that, coming for this soon. This is the porcelain colored one. I picked this up last Thursday on launch day. I pre-ordered it from my local Best Buy. So that's coming. And I still have my Moto Edge 2025. I know that this phone has been out for some months now. It's been out for like 3 months or something like that now. But this mid-range device is a really, really, really good, compelling device. And I'm a fan of it. So I got my unboxing coming for this as well, Edge 2025. So stay tuned for that. I got that coming, and a lot more as well. But yeah, I mean, you look at, I was impressed by just how thin this was, right? But then if you look at the two side by side, as far as like the thinness is concerned, and I mean, look how much thinner the Samsung is. If you could tell. There we go. Right? You can see that the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is just a tad bit thicker. Yeah, let's see. The Samsung, I believe these are both, when it's opened, yeah, these are both 8-inch displays. But you can see the Pixel is more rounded at the corners as opposed to the Samsung. It's squared off at the corners. Yeah, I mean, when the devices are closed, okay, you could see the Pixel is a little thicker, but it's wider. And that's why I think that, I mean, not that I have an issue. I don't have an issue at all with the aspect ratio of the Samsung when it's closed. I mean, because it's like a tall, thin, display. And you could do everything on this display. This display is fully functional. But the Pixel is offering you, just that the aspect ratio of this display, right? This is giving you more of a candy bar style, device vibe. You know what I mean? And texting and stuff is going to be a little bit more natural feeling on a display like this because of the size of it, the aspect ratio. And like I said, I mean, this is a 6.3 inch. This is a 6.5. One of the main reasons why the Pixel, I chose the Pixel 10 Pro is because of the 6.1 inch display. That for me seems to be like the sweet spot for me as far as like, overall size for a device. But yeah, I mean, with the Samsung, again, I like One UI 8, all of the features. It's so feature rich and packed, to be able to customize. I like how thin it is and the form factor. It's lightweight. I like how light it is, right? The phone doesn't feel like you're carrying a brick in your pocket unless I got a case from Amazon, and it's a fully protective case, right? The case protects the back, the front. It comes with the screen protector on the front. It also has a hinge protector, but it just adds so much bulk to the device. And so I took it off a couple of days ago, just to rock it without it. And I typically don't do that because I know that if there's no case on your phone, there's a higher chance that it's gonna slip out of your pocket. I don't drop my devices. The only times that I've dropped my devices was because they were in my pocket and I was sitting in the car or something like that. And as I was getting out of the car, the phone will slip out of my pocket onto the ground. And so that was really my only concern with this device and not having a case on it. But huge difference as to how this feels in my pocket without the case versus the case that I got on it. And so I'm just gonna have to invest in one of those slim cases, for this device, because those slim cases, they don't really add any bulk. They do add a little bit of gripability to the device. I mean, so it won't slip out of your hands. I like the camera performance, the video performance, and some of the features that, the camera packs But I gotta say this. With either one of these devices, and this is I'm learning this because I have said in other videos, I'm on record saying that I think that these devices are the future of smartphones because of the ability of multitasking, and you got two different displays to do two totally different things if that's what you want to do, right? And it's like you're combining, right? You're consolidating phone and tablet. You know, these things, while they're closed, they're fully functional phones, and you can still do all the things on these outer displays. But when you open them up, you've got a much bigger canvas, and then it turns into like a mini tablet, right? And you know, the productivity that you could do on either one of these devices is insane, right? You can do all kinds of things on these devices. They're just little computers in your pockets. But what I have found is that usually when I invest in these phones, I'll say 98% of the time, I'm using these phones with just the external display. These external displays are good enough to where you never ever have to open up these devices if you don't want to. I stay with Bluetooth earbuds in my ear. So whenever I'm watching a video, I am totally content with just turning the device like this, which is what I would typically do on any candy bar style device, and watch content. And these screens are so crisp clear to where I can see everything in great detail, but most importantly, I can hear everything in great detail, right? So I found that these hundreds of dollars that I'm investing in these devices, and obviously you're buying these devices, you know, because you have the ability to open them up, and you've got such a much bigger canvas to view your content or just do whatever it is that you want to do on a much bigger canvas. If I'm only using these devices 98% of the time on the external display, it totally defeats the purpose of spending all the extra money to open up the device. From time to time, I'll open up the device and watch whatever content I'm watching, but it's very seldom that I do that. It's wasteful. I'm not getting my money's worth. And that's another reason why I was just like with the Pixel, I say that I'm going to skip the 10 Pro Fold. I don't know. I'm such a tech guy. When new tech comes out, it just calls me, Pristine, Pristine, come get me. I know I'm 2000, but just spend the money. You know you want me. Right? I'm like Pookie, you know what I'm saying? In New Jack City, I mean, a new device just comes out, man. It's just calling me, man. It's just calling me, man. I got to get it, man. I'm Pookie, man. I'm fiending, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm Jodeci out there, man. You got me fiending. You know, that's just what happens when new tech comes out for me. You know, it's hard to resist. But I have to be realistic with myself. And it's like, you know, every time I buy these folding devices like these, I don't really open them that much. And so it's like I had to realize, like, Pristine, you know, you're wasting a lot of money. You could just get, you know, the other variant, and it's going to do everything that you want it to do. It's going to be lighter, you know, it's going to be more comfortable. It's not going to seem as cumbersome. You know, if you throw a case on it, you know, it's not going to be as cumbersome. You know, they're, you know, a lot more durable, you know, and sometimes I just want to just flip a phone out of my pocket real quick, lightweight, just grab it, do what I need to do, and boom, throw it back in my pocket without even thinking about it. I can't necessarily do that with these types of devices. So I said all that to say, if that's you, right? If what I just described is you, if you too find yourself spending the premium for these types of devices, and these are great devices, they do everything, right? But if you're like me and you're not really utilizing these devices for what they're meant to be utilized for, then don't be me and spend $2,000 plus on these devices when you don't even use them for all that they're meant to be used for. You know, I mean, not pre-ordering the Pixel 10 Pro Fold and just getting the Pixel 10 Pro here, like that was a smart move for me. right? Because the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I still have this device. And a lot of the nuances that are on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold is more than likely they're software things, and they're going to come to this device in the form of an update. There hasn't been really too many significant hardware tweaks as far as I can see between the Pixel 9 Pro Fold and the 10 Pro Fold. Right? So, you know, this is smaller, 6.1 inches. This box is kind of heavy though. You know, this was made with some premium material, you know. But nonetheless, it's the sweet spot for me. I'm small in stature. I'm 5'3", about 117, 18 pounds, soaking wet. Best shape of my life, all muscle. But, yeah, well, 5'4". I'm 5'4". Okay. I like to travel light. I don't want a big, heavy, cumbersome feeling device in my pocket, you know, just because it's the latest and greatest. So what I found with having devices like this is they're also more about comfort. And sometimes it's just uncomfortable walking around with these big devices that can be very heavy and cumbersome, especially when you slap a case on them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, either one of these devices, you can't go wrong with either one of them. And obviously, you know, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold isn't out yet. And so the 9 Pro Fold is what this device is going to be compared to, especially in the States. There are several other folding devices that are magnificent that may trump what either one of these devices are doing. You know, Huawei, Honor, even the OnePlus Open. They're working on the Open 2. That's going to be coming out in I believe early mid 2026. I skipped out on the OnePlus Open the first generation, and so I'm definitely getting my hands on that OnePlus Open 2. But, you know, there's a lot of other, you know, markets that are making foldable devices that are really, really good, but you have to get those imported. And there's no guarantee that if you do get them imported that they're going to work with the US carrier networks. So as far as these folding devices that you can get in the States, these two right here are the cream of the crop. That's just what it is. If the Z Fold 7 is what you want, get it. Right? I'm not going to allow the price to deter me from telling people to get this phone if it's what you want, because it's a good phone, right? This phone has been very good to me. I mean, there hasn't been not a single hiccup from the time that I've taken it out of the box 3.5 weeks ago until now. There hasn't been a single hiccup. But I'm just saying, you know, that man, the case, it's cumbersome, and you know, it feels like it's not a problem. The phone is light enough. Look, this phone, the Pixel 10 Pro, which I haven't even taken out of the box yet. This box is heavier than this device. Now, it could be because of the fact that, you know, you got the device in here and the books and all that type of stuff, the weight of the box, all that type of stuff. But like I said, when I took that case off that I had for this phone, it made the phone really heavy. Since then, it's a featherweight in my pocket. But I'm just uncomfortable with the fact that there's nothing protecting it, right? If it were to slip out of my pocket and it drops, oh my goodness, man, that would be bad. It's not to say that the phone is gonna break or anything like that, but I don't even want to scrape or scuff, nothing on this phone. I don't want to crack screen, any of that. So yeah, I mean, I spent like $2,100 on this phone, man. I mean, yeah. So, is it a good device? Absolutely. But only get it if you're going to use it for what it's meant to be used for. Okay? You know, if you're going to buy this phone and all you're going to do is just use the external display and you're never going to open it, then why even buy it? Get the S25 Ultra. If you want Samsung's finest. You know, wait until January, you know, when the new S26 comes out. Get the S26 Ultra. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you can wait that long. You know what? It's September 1st now, so, you know, we still got a little ways away toward the end of the year. But, you know, if you're hard pressed to get a shiny new Samsung and you wouldn't use this thing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to the capacity at which it ought to be used, unless you absolutely want one and you just don't care and you just want to have the capabilities to open it up whenever you want to open it, even though that may not be that often, man, just save some money and get an S25 Ultra and just call it good. You know what I'm saying? Go get a Pixel 10 Pro XL. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, go get a Moto Edge 2025. You know, $499 right here. I mean, you're saving over $1,500, you know what I'm saying, if you went with this device over this one. I'm just saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Great phone, yes. Battery life, battery life is a little, but I mean, aside from that, the phone, it's been great, performs well, cameras are flawless nearly. I love the build. Yeah, it's a great device. What can I say? I mean, this is what we come to expect from Samsung. Apple, we're waiting. We're waiting on that Apple Fold to come out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for rocking with me on the Pristine review for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Pardon me. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Be sure to turn on that notifications bell so that every time my videos drop, you'll get notified and you can be one of the first to check out the content. If you've got any questions, comments, or any type of feedback at all whatsoever, hit me up in the comment section. That's where I'm always chilling at. The only thing that I ask is that we keep it nice, clean, and respectful in the comment section, and let's talk tech respectfully. I don't respond to negativity and disrespect, and some of you guys get real disrespectful in the comments, and I just ignore that stuff and just keep on pushing. I don't even dignify it with a response, and I will not. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So you already know, please stay safe, get spiritually fit if you haven't already, and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. Stay tuned because the dedicated camera review is following this benediction right now. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the camera and the videography performance of the Galaxy Z Fold 7. I'm out. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace. What's going on, y'all? Pristine here. Triple camera setup here on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Beautiful day here, Seattle, Washington. Nice and warm, fall day on the beach, chilling, putting this together for y'all. Man, look at that. Some people are saying that these are the same cameras that we find on the S25 Ultra. And hey, look at this footage. I'm all right with that. These better be some damn good cameras, given how much this phone costs. You know what I'm saying? This phone was $2,100. If I spend $2,100 on a phone, I'm expecting for everything to be top notch. Everything. And if it's not, man, it's problems. I'm probably not going to keep the device. Plain and simple. When you're spending that kind of money, everything's got to be top tier. Everything's got to be fully functioning, up to par, as it ought to be. It shouldn't be lagging behind any other device at that price. I know y'all feel me. Those of y'all that cop this device, I know y'all feel me, because y'all paid that premium just like I did. So, yeah. Optical image stabilization on board. I believe we also got electronic image stabilization. You can see I'm just moving, man. I'm not babysitting it. Y'all see the Timbs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not walking gingerly.
Yeah. What's up, YouTube? What it look like?
Looking for them to pass.
Sanaya!
What's her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Sanaya.
Oh, okay, I thought you said Zenaya. I was like, oh, we have the same name.
Oh, okay. Sanaya, that's a pretty name though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're fine.
She's kicking it. What happened to London's ride? She already got on it? That's it? This is silly. Okay, so my children are trying to scare me. We're in Spirit Halloween, and you know we got all kind of, you know, I'm a horror movie guy. Nothing scares me. Halloween, you know, Michael Myers is my favorite. None of this stuff is scary, but they're telling me to run through this little train-looking thing. And you ready?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
We do need to.
I'm just gonna walk through it.
Okay, do it.
Okay, we got something right here. We got the scarecrow right here. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Just run through.
What are we doing? Huh? Okay. We got a guy torn from the he's torn from the torso. He's in so much pain. What's the scarecrow doing?
Nothing.
Huh? Scarecrow doesn't. So is this the guy? Wow, he got messed up. He got torn from the torso. He's got piping through his face. Gee, somebody didn't like this guy. He must have really did someone wrong.
On the train, because the train looks like it was an accident. That missed.
That scared you?
Yeah, so I was walking the planet. I was looking at
Oh my goodness.
the
You guys.
Those pursuing crews will not stay around after this.
Yeah. Who's this? Sinister Strawman?
Just like you. They flee when I arrive, and they won't be coming back for long.
There's Tiana in there. I'll get her.
Okay, that's pretty hard right there.
Wait, we'll have her. Look. Get Tiana. Wait for her.
Let's see. Wow, look at the color quality on that. Galaxy Z Fold 7 here, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking it with the family in Spirit Halloween. You know, the Halloween season is upon us now that we're in October. And, yeah, we got little clown right here. Who is this? Trick or Treat Pete. We got Trick or Treat Pete.
Okay, go get Tiana.
I just want candy from my mouth.
London, Sanaya, come here. You guys look. London.
Oh, yes, Samaya, come back. Go ahead. Hurry.
Pete Blue Legs. You were short and now.
Come closer, little one.
Okay.
Just watch
Who is this? Twisted Grandma.
Where did London go? We lost London.
She's right there.
Oh, I thought she was here.
It's time to test out this and see if it scares me. Ready, Mommy?
All right, y'all. So this is the selfie camera on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. You know, for those that want me to talk politically correct. You know what I'm saying? The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. You know, for my hood cats out there, man, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, man. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. What's happening, man? Yeah. Oh, man. Yes, sir. What it look like? You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Looks good to me. Ah, look at that background. Look at the sky. Look at how blue that sky is. Sheesh. Man, that's I don't know, man. I just got done shooting some footage with this iPhone Air right here. You know what I'm saying? And that was looking real good. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, this is giving the Air a run for its money right here. You know, two top tier devices. I mean, so I expect for the camera quality, whether it be the main camera sensors or the selfie cameras, to be top notch. I mean, so what can you expect? And like I mentioned, this is a $2,100 device. I mean, so yeah, camera quality better be good on a phone that costs that much. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is a 10 megapixel sensor. If I remember correctly, you know, I got so many phones and I'm always changing phones all the time. Sometimes I just forget the megapixel counts for the cameras and all that. But I believe this is a 10 megapixel sensor. And I know that when we open up the device, there's another 10 megapixel sensor. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Just look at the sky there. Look at the clouds back there. Look at the water. Oh, man. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. You guys sound off in the comments. Now, we don't have any, you know, I mean, of course, you know, with the, you know, we've got a stable of features and functions with this camera. Obviously, we don't have the ability to, you know, take, you know, landscape portraits or videos on this phone. You know, that's an iPhone thing for now. I know that they just introduced that with the 17 lineup in the Air, you know. But I mean, you know, I suspect coming real soon that another selfie camera and another device or devices will have that same technology, unless Apple if they patented it, then, you know, you know, you'll just have to cop an iPhone only if you want that type of technology. Okay. And it's a really cool feature, might I add. You know, I know, you know, I don't slam Apple as much as I once did. You know, I think that, you know, they've closed the gap tremendously as time has gone on with the capabilities of their devices. You know, yeah, it may take them a long time to add different things, you know, but, you know, when they do, it's done well. You know, so, you know, I don't really be knocking Apple anymore. And, you know, part of the reason too is just because I'm locked into that ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I stay with two phones. Why? I mean, whatever the latest iPhone is, which is the Air here. You know, I chose the Air over the 17 Pro and Pro Max. You know, that's in my left pocket. And, you know, my Android phone of choice, given the fact that there's so many companies that make Android devices, in my right pocket. Right now, I'm rocking with my Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, today is October 8th. You know, tomorrow, the 9th, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold comes out. You know what I'm saying? That's getting delivered. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm going to have an unboxing video for that. You know, I got to give it the pristine treatment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, brace yourselves, you know what I'm saying, for an hour plus long video. You know what I'm saying? As I fully scrutinize that device. And I think in my Pixel 10 Pro unboxing, I said I wasn't going to get it. Y'all didn't believe that, did you? Y'all didn't believe that, did you? Y'all fell for the okie doke, man. Come on, man. Tell me y'all didn't fall for the 42 fake, man. Y'all didn't believe that, did you? I'm a tech nerd. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? When new tech comes out, man, I'm just like Pookie in New Jack City, man. It just be calling me, man. It just be calling me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get it. So, you know, I'm like Pookie from New Jack, man. Yeah. But sound up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the selfie camera here on the Galaxy. Here, let me get politically correct real quick. On the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. For y'all that want me to properly enunciate, you know, the words. Told you, man, I'm just being me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know? I'm just a kid from the hood who turned out all good. By the grace of the Most High, baby. The Most High. All right, YouTube family, so right here we have the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 with the display open. And so this is the 10 megapixel selfie camera that is on the display while the device is opened up. Okay. And I believe it's the same selfie camera that is on the external display while it's closed. Okay, so there shouldn't be any drop off in quality or anything like that. Okay, so I suspect that this footage is going to look very similar, if not identical, to the selfie video that I just took with the camera on the external display. All right, so go ahead and step out of the ham sandwich. Translation for those of y'all that don't know, the vehicle, you know what I'm saying? Told y'all, man, I'm from the hood, man, you know what I'm saying? A lot of different things have different names. You know, in the hood, a car, depending on where you at, it's called a ham sandwich, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's an old school term too, you know what I'm saying? That's vintage hood lingo, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's one of the ham sandwiches, you know. Yeah. So I mean, things look pretty identical to me. Things look really good, nice, crisp, clear, color accuracy, color reproduction, nice, on point, as it ought to. Like I said, I believe this is the same camera. I mean, so I don't expect for there to be any kind of quality drop off at all whatsoever. Yeah. What can I say? Beautiful footage here. Now you see how things kind of look. I mean, the sun is directly behind me and it's beaming directly in the lens. And I think the camera is still doing a remarkable job with being able to capture everything. But obviously, you know, when we turn against the sun, then that's when you see, you know, just the colors and just how everything is nice and vibrant and all that type of stuff. Towards the sun, this is what you're going to face. Okay. So, this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Sound off in the comments down below what you think about the overall camera quality of the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. All right. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.